Hi guys, it's like 1:30-ish in the morning. I was just cleaning out my storage closet. It's kind of a hodgepodge of everything, and I haven't had a chance to get to it in like the last month, and Christmas happened, and like I just became this frantic panic of like if anything was in my way, I just kind of threw it into that closet so I could like have space to wrap gifts and decorations, ornaments, cookies, all that jazz. So it was horrible. And I'm in there in the middle of like cleaning out the closet, and I had this thought that just like popped into my head out of nowhere because that's how I do things. And I don't know, I just wanted to share it with you guys. I was thinking about that old story in the Bible that we all know, even those of you who aren't Christian or don't believe in any kind of religious thing, the Adam and Eve story. And I just was thinking about how the way that story is painted, it's always Eve, right? It's always she was the one who broke the promise to God. She was the one who disobeyed first. She was the one who lured the man into sin or tempted him or whatever you want to call it. It's always been painted that way, right? Like Adam is kind of like in the background of everything and Eve is the one who fucked it all up. And I started thinking about experiences as an adult where I was shamed for breastfeeding in church by other women in the church, not like a pastor or anything like that, but by the women in the church, and told that I was putting myself into a position where I was tempting their men. Like, if your man is getting sexually aroused or whatnot because he's looking at me feeding my baby, girl, that's on you. That has nothing to do with me. But again, there's an example of men have no self control. Men can therefore carry no blame for wrongdoing. They cannot be held accountable for their actions. It's always something the woman did to put them in that position where they had no other choice. And it's the same thing with when you hear these stories about, a college girl got raped at a party. Well, what was she doing at that party? Why did she put herself in that position? What was she wearing? Was she drinking? Was she, under the influence of any kind of drugs? What did she do to put herself in a position where she was the reason that she got assaulted or molested or raped? You hear stories all the time about women where your first thought, or maybe not yours, but other people's certainly is, well, what did she think was going to happen? If you go out of the house dressed like that, if you hang out with people like that, if you walk in that kind of neighborhood, if you wear that kind of skirt, if you drink that kind of drink, if you get that drunk at a party, if you make some bad decision as a woman, then the consequences that occur because there was a man that showed no self control, no boundaries, no respect, no morals, no integrity whatsoever, it's on you. And it's been that way since the dawn of time in religious teachings and in our society and in media, where women are painted as if we had just not been wearing that, not been going to that place, not associated with that particular person. If we had made wiser choices, then we wouldn't have inadvertently put men in a position where they had no other choice because they can't think for themselves. And as a mother of six sons, I find that incredibly insulting to men everywhere, because I look at the boys and young men that I'm raising and I don't see a bunch of bumbling idiots who can't think for themselves. I've raised my sons to be men of honor and integrity and character. I've taught them how to be respectful, how to ask for consent, what consent means. Just it's not that difficult. It's not that hard to understand these concepts. And when we portray it as women are the cause of all of the wrongdoings that men do, we are sending this message to boys everywhere that you don't have to be held accountable. You're not going to be anyway. There's no need to learn these things. Mothers and fathers, you have a grave responsibility to change this, to send that message to your sons that they are to be held accountable for their actions, that they are smart enough to think for themselves, that they're not walking around thinking with their dick, because they have enough in their heart and in their mind and in their understanding of concepts of how relationships work and how respect works and just in general how to be a good human being. That's not that hard. And it is our responsibility as parents to make sure we instill this in them. That we don't teach our daughters that they are objects. Like, don't spend so much time telling your daughter, to make sure she always wears a bra so her nipples don't show, or to not wear that skirt too short because you're sending the wrong message. Stop worrying so much about sending those messages to girls and start teaching your sons more about, hey, don't look at girls that way. Don't treat them like there's some object you can just rub up against and hump whenever you get a little bit excited, because that's not what this is about, and that's not what this is. I think that we can do better. I know that we can do better, and it begins at home. And that's it. It was just something that popped into my mind, and I don't know, it just kind of all clicked together in my head, and I was a little bit appalled and a little bit disgusted, and just trying to figure out why all of these, like, centuries, thousands of years, however long it's been since the beginning of time, depending on what you believe in, that we're still teaching this same message. That the men just follow lead, and we women are going to be held accountable for any of the fuck-ups they make, because it's not how it works. It's not how it works at all. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, night, whenever you catch this. I love you guys. Don't forget, rise and shine. Bye.